Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at San Jose Sharks forward Timo Meier. He seems to be the biggest name left on the board here heading into this year's NHL trade deadline. And there's a bit of an arms race going on around the National Hockey League. Bo Horvat's already been traded, Tarasenko's already been traded, and we expect the activity to continue to pick up here ahead of the deadline. Timo Meier is one of the biggest names out there in San Jose. He's got another year left on his contract, but there is some reason to hesitate, as he's a guy that, depending on the market for teams and his qualifying offer of $10 million next summer, is that going to push some teams away from potentially bringing in Timo Meier? We're going to go over some teams who will sign and who will rent Timo Meier is going to play a huge factor in his final price tag when he inevitably gets traded. We're going to go over all of that here today. So Timo Meier, the 26-year-old winger of the San Jose Sharks. He's a pretty good hockey player. He's a guy in San Jose that's really been in the NHL since the 2016-2017 season. So at that rate, this is his 7th season in the National Hockey League. He has 51 points in 53 games. He's got 30 goals already, probably on pace for 40 to 45, maybe close to 50 goals this season with how he's played. Timo Meier is a gamer, and this is a guy that can score goals on a not so good San Jose Sharks team. So that just is a testament to what he's capable of at the National Hockey League level. So the first thing we have to distinguish is who will sign Timo Meier to an extension and expect to have a long-term deal with him, and who is willing to rent Timo Meier as just a rental at the deadline. Now, teams that would be probably willing to sign Timo Meier, I look at teams like the New Jersey Devils, maybe even the Toronto Maple Leafs if things get to that point. But there is teams that maybe could rent him. I look at the Colorado Avalanche as a team, the Carolina Hurricanes with their freed up cap space now, with Max Pacioretty off the books for the rest of this season. Could Timo Meier be a good quote-unquote rental for them? And I think that's going to affect the price tag for all of these teams. But I think there is one team in particular that is going to really dominate this market, and that is the New Jersey Devils, because they, out of all of these teams, seem to have the most assets to get a deal done here. And I think they are ultimately going to be the key player in terms of what the final value is for Timo Meier for the San Jose Sharks. So we're going to start off there because I think the San Jose Sharks are looking at the New Jersey Devils' potential trade proposal as the benchmark for what Timo Meier could be worth. So the New Jersey Devils acquired Timo Meier. In exchange, the San Jose Sharks acquired New Jersey's 2023 first-round pick, former 7th overall pick back in 2020, Alexander Holtz, Shakir Mukhamadullin, who was a right-shot defenseman in that same draft, and 22-year-old left-shot defenseman Kevin Ball. That is the starting price tag for Timo Meier, in my opinion. I think the Devils are looking at a spot here where they could be willing to give up those guys and still have a very good prospect pool despite making all those guys, tradable. And I think that what you're looking at in New Jersey, I think they want to avoid trading Luke Hughes and Simon Nemec. And I think at this point, the Devils can afford to give up one of those young forwards as well, which I think the San Jose Sharks are looking for in return to potentially play with a William Eklund next season in San Jose. So I think that the Devils are a team that could very much be in the running here. With that said, there's another team that's been linked to a potential trade here, the Carolina Hurricanes. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are interesting here because of Max Pacioretty's money being freed up the rest of this season. It makes things a little bit easier for the Carolina Hurricanes to rent him out at the very least for the rest of this season. So Carolina acquires Timo Meier. In exchange, the San Jose Sharks acquire a 2023 first-round pick. And this is where things get a little frustrating because I know Carolina Hurricanes fans don't want to give up Seth Jarvis, but if you're going to make this trade, he's going to probably have to be part of this package. A first-round pick, Seth Jarvis, Alexei Hemosalmi, who is a 19-year-old second-round pick back in 2021, a right-shot defenseman, and Dylan Coghlan, who is a little bit of an older right-shot defenseman. He's 24 years old and a pending RFA. That is just a depth pickup, similar to the Kevin Ball in the Devils trade proposal. So he's just another depth defenseman that's a little bit on the younger side, right? He's still 24. He kind of is on the edge of that. I know that Hurricanes fans haven't been a fan of him this year, so maybe he's a guy that is easier to trade out, and that's something that you could be looking at here. Now, what's interesting with the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's been reported that, they want Meyer and can think about an extension later, which is basically this summer, and you run a lot of risk doing that, but I think the Maple Leafs, with the team that they have, kind of has to make this trade, right? Or a big trade. And I think that Kyle Dubas said he wasn't willing to make this move for a rental. But if he sees a long-term future with Timo Meier, potentially signing him and locking him up long-term this summer, well, is that necessarily a rental anymore? And maybe they are willing to move some of those bigger assets if they see a long-term fit with Timo Meier. So the Maple Leafs acquire Timo Meier. In exchange, the Sharks get a first-round pick from the Leafs, Matthew Nyes, Tapi Niemela, who is a 20-year-old right-shot defenseman, and Timothy Liljegren. I know, that's a lot of assets here, but again, you're getting Timo Meier, and I think that's something that the Leafs fans have to accept, and I think, they look at some of those younger prospects that they have on this team, they still have some good right-shot defenseman prospects, so even if they traded Niemela and Liljegren, it wouldn't necessarily be breaking the bank for them, and that's the good news here. Now, again, it's going to cost them a lot, but again, if you're going to try and win a Stanley Cup this year and get past the first round, you're going to have to give up an arm and a leg, and I think they could be willing to do that. Now, the good news is it might not necessarily cost them both Niemela and Liljegren. Maybe you're able to get away with just one of those prospects getting traded out, and it's probably Liljegren. So if I had to go with a final proposal, first-round pick, Nyes, and Liljegren. All right, so that's what we've got there. Now, the final proposal is the Winnipeg Jets. So Kevin Cheveldayoff scouted the San Jose Sharks the other night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I don't think they're going to be trading with the Lightning. So I think there is a fit, potentially with Timo Meier and the Winnipeg Jets. So the Jets acquire Timo Meier. The Sharks get a first-round pick from the Jets this year. Elias Samuelsson, who is a 18-year-old right-shot defenseman who was drafted in last year's draft in the second round. Chaz Lucius, who is a former first-round pick prospect, can play center. He's a good forward. That's a guy to look at. And Henri Nikkanen, who is a younger 22-year-old forward that is on the Winnipeg Jets roster this season. So the Timo Meier trade to the Winnipeg Jets is actually quite delicious, if I had to say so. If I'm a Sharks fan, you get a young right-shot defenseman, a pretty good potential top six guy in Chaz Lucius, and a first-round pick. I would take that deal if I was the San Jose Sharks. That's a pretty nice offer for a guy that they really don't see a long-term future in with Timo Meier. So, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. What do you guys think of these mock trades for Timo Meier? Again, this is all speculation. It's just fun and games, armchair GM. But there is some real credibility, as some of these teams have been linked to Timo Meier. Cheveldayoff was scouting the Sharks the other day. Come on. What else was Cheveldayoff really scouting the Sharks for? Was he scouting them for, Logan Couture or Erik Karlsson? Maybe, but more likely than not, it was Timo Meier. Guys, let me know what you guys think down below. Leave your own mock trades down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.